This is your new favorite internet radio, Power 108.9.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something.
Oh,
Oh, come on. Answer it already.
acting like a where my doggone shot at?
Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time,
It's been one of them
ignore your
days.
divorce. Don't
Hey
text and
y'all,
drive.
it's been one of them days, but it's hump day, y'all. Y'all know what it is.
Shows, new guests, and new events that help us connect with the community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Power
Can
108.9.
somebody come give me
You
an
can also
instant
go to
breast
power1089.com
Instant breast
to get
reduction.
all of the updated
Hey,
news
hey,
and
hey,
happenings
hey,
here at
y'all.
Power. Thanks for listening.
Man, I can't flatten them suckers down like they be doing. Hi, Janine. Hey, pretty lady. Everybody, are you tuned in right now? Happy hump day. Yeah, it's been a day. Yeah, I'm ready. Ready. We're about to get this thing started. Go ahead and tell your people to tell your people to tell your people to tune in. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Hump Day, T Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. No place you'd rather be from 8 to 10, so you can do it again and again and again on this Hump Day. Hey, Q.
Hey T.
See, if you wasn't too busy popping, you would have knew.
I
saw you. I saw it's Hump Day. It's time to get over this thing. Ready for the end of the week? Well, we're going to help get you there with the headlines, some hot topics, some relationship talk, of course, and some super amazing guests in the building. We have one of the youngest producers
that we've met thus far.
My God.
Yes, Jalen Miller.
His name is Jalen Miller.
Yes.
And he has the movie called It's Major. Got a couple of people that you probably might know, Ebony Steele and who else?
Tawanda Braxton, Arnez J. are all actors featured in the movie.
So that's gonna be dope. Can't wait to talk to him and about how and what inspired him to do this.
Absolutely.
And of course, we definitely could not do the show without paying homage to Nipsey Hussle and talking about where do we go from here. Most people know more about his activism. That's a wrong word.
Most people know more about his activism than his music.
More than the music. Even my daughter was saying she's listened to his music, but she knows more about what he's done in the community. So we can't wait to talk about that. Also, what else are we going to talk about today? Q got some doggone good not hot topics. What you got? Headlines.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Good headlines.
Hey, can we talk a little bit? You know what? Hey, can we talk a little bit more of about Pastor Gray later on? Oh my God. Every other week he is in the doggone news with some other stuff. Yeah, I got 250,000. He want it. Can you give it to him? He need it. Not do he want it. He need it. We'll tell you why when that's coming up. But I don't know. That's all I got to say. Yeah, it's been a hard day for me today. It was a rough one.
You made it.
I made it through. And so on that note, I'm going to have to take a shot somewhere. But we're going to get over this together. Me, you, and Q. Michael's in the building. It's Power 108.9. What? No other place would you rather be. I got to get a shot because my tongue is tied. Keep it locked. We'll be right back. It's Henry Radio Show.
Yeah, heavy tongue ass.
I know. What the hell? Oh, I had something on it. French fries. From when we had the movie.
My nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation.
Hey, beautiful people.
Real nigga celebration. It's a dime declaration. 59th and 5th Ave, granny house with vanilla wafers. It's the remedy to separation. Tupac of my generation. Blue
Y'all, listen, I mean, our community is at, we'll talk about that though. We got to talk about that. Like, it's where we go from here. We got to talk about it. We got to. It's just, we got to make some different decisions now. And we can't let this be just another moment that happens and we go back to life as usual. We should be tired of going back to life as usual after the tragedies. We're getting too used to flowers and bears and candlelight vigils. We're getting too used to that. Flowers and bears. You know they have them doggone bears at the vigils. Bears.
Oh, the side of the road visual.
Right. You know the candlelight vigils that we see, and there's always a whole bunch of bears. What you thought?
I thought you were saying burials.
No. I'm country and
Burl.
shit, but I ain't
Have a
that
swig.
country. You know what I'm saying?
Have a swig, baby.
I'm okay. Let me go on and take this good old shot. I know I'm country, but dog,
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
this is my follow-up water. This is my water, and then this is my follow-up water.
I get you one. We can crank it back up.
This is good.
You ready?
Whew.
Y'all ready?
Mhm.
Damn, baby. Take the power down a little bit. A little bit.
Hey, we back. How they bring me back after me to set my throat on fire? Welcome back to Star 108.9 TV Radio Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're gonna get into a little bit of these headlines. Q, are you ready to talk about what this is to talk about today?
What's this is to talk? Yes,
Yeah.
I am ready to talk
Shut
about
up.
what it is
I
to
like
talk
your
about.
shirt. We just talked about. See, I used to chase people, but now I chase purpose. That's gonna be the theme
It's
of
part
the
of the
show.
Conspiration brand.
Yeah, that's gonna be the theme.
And that's gonna be
today.
the conspiration at the end of the night.
Okay, well, let's get it. Let's talk about these headlines.
All right. So what's going on in the news?
Mhm.
Well, amidst everything that is going on in Chicago, Jussie Smollett getting let off.
Yep.
R. Kelly.
Being R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. R. Kelly being R. Kelly.
Right, right.
Chicago has elected its first female black mayor. But that ain't it. So
Okay.
we gonna clap and
Let's
congratulate
clap that up.
Lori Lightfoot for being Chicago's first
Lori
black-
Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot.
Baby, listen. Go on, Lori. Congratulations, boo. But
So yes, she is the first black
Mm-hmm.
female
Mm-hmm.
lesbian mayor. Yes, LGBT colored women all
Come
up
up.
in there.
That's
She
the
just
come up for the LGBT community.
yeah, she everything.
Okay, she beat all the odds.
So congratulations to Lori Lightfoot. She says she is coming in there. She
Nice.
is ready to clean up that corruption,
Right.
and she says Jussie Smollett is gonna pay.
Okay. I don't believe him either, Lori. I'm with you. I
A
don't
lot of
believe him
people
either.
don't.
No,
I
don't believe him. I
I'm
just
still
don't.
standing with her.
What? That's because we ain't gonna say, but I don't believe him.
Because
honey.
what?
Nothing. I just don't believe it. I know he lied. He made it up. He made it up. He made it up. That's it. In the
Who
story.
else said that?
He made it
On
up.
the NAACP awards, somebody
said
came
that?
and said somebody. I think it was Chris Rock.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah, they was clowning him.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. And they
Mhm.
told him not to say nothing about Jussie.
And
Of
he
course,
did.
Chris Rock being Chris Rock did it anyway.
Chris Rock didn't care.
He's a damn fool. What else is going on?
Oh, and shout out to the NAACP. And what was it TV1, Bounce TV, BET, one of them for putting on an amazing award show. Like that was an amazing celebration of
That was awesome.
of color
Yeah.
that day. All them beautiful black people. Shout out to Omari for them double kisses that you got from Beyonce.
Man, what?
Oh yeah, that was
He
dope.
tried it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh
tried it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
He tried that one.
You
I
see
was
that?
like, oh,
You didn't. Oh, at the end when he went up and hugged Beyonce and congratulate Jay-Z and Beyonce both got awards. Omari got an award for third, fourth, fifth year in a row, something like that.
mhm.
He went up, hugged Beyonce. As he was saying, his goodbyes, he went and hugged her again and kind of kissed her on that little piece of side mouth right there.
And then turned around and what? Did it again.
Yeah.
He
Well,
did
he
it twice.
side mouthed her twice. He kissed her on the cheek the first time, but he got a little closer.
She
Like-
like, wait a minute.
He got a little closer right there that second time.
I'm sure she felt very
Oh, you saw the change on her face?
right. Like you're doing too much now.
Oh, yeah. It's over for him.
Yeah, done deal.
So, what else is going on in
What?
the news? So, we had the opportunity to talk about Nipsey Hussle
Yeah.
just a little bit. So, philanthropist, rapper, father, husband,
Wow.
Nipsey Hussle, 33-year-old Nipsey Hussle, was gunned down in front of his store, the Marathon in
Mhm.
LA last week. So, it's been a lot going on. A lot of people have compared this to the Tupac murder.
Right.
Because not only was this man, for some, known for his music, but he was known a lot more for the philanthropy that he was
Yes.
doing for the community. He was somebody who did what he did, got out of the community. Instead of becoming a product of his environment, he became something more. But then he wanted to empower people within his community, so he went back.
Right.
And the very community that he came from and went back to
Took his
is where he
life.
died.
It's just we are at a state now, right now, that we have really got to start looking at things differently and start think and how we think. I don't know how we can change the minds of people who have that type of hate or
Right.
jealousy. I just don't know. But what I do know is that we've got to start doing something. And I can't lie and say I know what that something is, but we've got to start doing something because a lot of that stems from how we feel about ourselves. We no longer value our life. We talk about what white people don't value as far as Black lives, but neither do we. And so we've got to start coming back and remembering who we are. Then if we actually start to embrace that for real, the idea, we'll start to act differently. But right now we are just acting as if like we are so indispensable, like it's nothing, like to take our life is nothing. He didn't realize, or even if he did realize, he didn't care that he took the life of somebody's father, significant other, son, community leader, an impact for our future. He took a piece of that, somebody that could impact his life, actually.
And somebody actually that did impact his life. Because if you've seen the picture that has been floating around on the internet, this man was not somebody who did not know Nipsey. This man is somebody that Nipsey was, you know, like not necessarily close with, but yeah, in the same circle. Like maybe they grew up together.
That circle could be dangerous because the same people you think are surrounding you to support you could be actually surrounding you to shut you down.
Baby, I don't want to shut you down. I just want to let you know that now. You're supposed to touch my hand. When I do this, yeah.
Me and you should never fight.
Yeah, I got you.
Right, that part of the game.
But yeah, you know, I was listening to a lot of radio, a lot of people and their opinions this weekend. And there was one thing that I heard on from comedian DL Hughley.
I love him.
That to me made so much sense. He said, how are we going to have a tomorrow if we keep killing our todays?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, that makes so much sense. Nipsey Hussle was 33 years old, and he was somebody that put so much effort into, you know, making sure that our community was set up, making sure that his kids were set up for tomorrow.
And not just his kids, everybody's kids.
Exactly. And who knows what he could have done had he lived out his entire life. You know, Martin Luther King got shot before he was 40. Who knows what this man could have accomplished had he lived out his entire life. And there's so many of our other leaders that were not afraid to get out there and do what they had to do that didn't get to live their full lives. None of them died of natural causes.
And most of us were killed by us, whether it was set up for the government. Think about Malcolm X and Martin, whether it was that or this incident here, which they said was a conspiracy, but it could go either way. Either way, we are still okay with killing us, which means there's some poison in our mind of how we feel about us. We need to start. I don't know what to do because some people are so far gone. There's nothing you can do, but then we have to start empowering our children to make understand there's that hate, that gang. And I'm gonna tell you something, that life, the gang life that, you know, that he may have come from or whatever they talked about, where they were showing so much love because the families, you know, most times they talk about a lot of them kids getting gangs because that's where they get the first love or their most love because they don't get it from their parents. We've got to start doing a better job as parents, and not only parents of our kids, but parents, period, and other kids in our community,
and I agree.
Taking care of those who don't have somebody to take care of them.
Because that it takes a village to raise a child. People have gotten away from that. I don't want nobody talking to my kids wrong. I don't want nobody doing this. But the thing is, truth be told, you're not doing it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not that we're out here trying to say something to your kid because, you know, we're just out here trying to be a-holes. We see something and we're trying to correct it before it becomes a bigger issue.
Pluck a weed and plant a seed. That's what we want to do. We're going to, because there's some things kids learn, that you know, that we need to get rid of, and then we need to plant the seed of empowerment and importance and knowing who they are and being okay with who they are,
and a
whatever
seed
that is.
of respect.
Oh my God!
See, that's one of the other things. Like I remember, and I feel like my generation. I'm 32 years old, so my generation was amongst the last people who understood what it was like to have those neighbors that would look out for you on your parents' behalf if your parent got a work late.
Absolutely.
You know, Miss So-and-so, you know, if you need something, go over there. Or, you know, everybody in the neighborhood knew each other. I lived in the house that I lived in for 3 years. Only person I knew was Peanut. That was the one right across the street. That's because he fixed my brakes. He cut my grass, and if I needed something hauled away,
he gave
then he
me
was
that.
good for
Right.
it. And all I had to pay him was $10 and some cigarettes.
Right.
You know, but everybody went in their house. Everybody, you know, nobody
that's how
got
it
to know
is,
each other.
right, in my community right now. That I have tried, y'all think I'm like, I have tried to get to know my neighbors so much.
Well,
And
your
every time I
neighbor's
go-
probably on that.
Right, but every time I try to go outside, I swear I'll go wave. They'll dip in their garage and let you see. I'll be waving. You see that shit going down, like God, in my face though. They literally do
Your
not even
neighbors
make
over there
effort.
running an illegal operation.
Something going
They
on.
ain't trying to make
They
friends.
do not even try. Like, absolutely don't even try. And I really try to make effort because I want to know who's beside me, who's in front of me. I want to know.
Absolutely.
But you know, because when you do know, you tend to take better care. But maybe they don't want to. You know, some people don't do it because they don't want to be accountable.
One of the comments that came out over the past week about Nipsey, I heard a very popular morning radio show host here in the A say that we really got to be careful when we're going back to our community.
I heard that this morning.
Wow.
And that
Tell
was
me how y'all
another
feel
thing.
about that.
You know what? And that is a
Mhm.
thing that makes you think. So you feel like, and the thing is, what he started off saying was, you know, when you get somewhere that's out of your neighborhood, when you feel like you've made it,
Mhm.
sometimes we feel like it's our obligation to go back
Right,
into our
right,
community
right?
and put back into our very community.
Mhm.
And a lot of the people who have done that have been people who have ended up being taken
Wow.
by people in their own
In their
community.
community.
That was very powerful.
And then one of the things is, I mean, we have a biblical example. We talk about Jesus, how he wasn't accepted in his community and back in Nazareth. He had to leave to be able to be who he was because
Right.
the people in his very own community did not accept him, did not respect him for who he was, and they wanted him. They ran him out.
We had a comment via social media that talked about Oprah Winfrey, how she stated one time where she mentioned they asked her why didn't she work with more underprivileged kids or kids in trouble kids or anything like that, and her answer was there are too many kids out there that want to do right. Versus, so
Trying to
she
go
want to focus
correct.
her energy on the people that want to do right,
Instead
not
of
the
trying to
ones
go
that I gotta
correct.
break
Right,
and correct.
Right. Because it's hard to do that because a lot of times they've gotten, and unfortunately, too far gone or past the point of being recovered because they still are in that same environment that is not fed, that's not feeding them to be positive and teaching them how to grow. So it's hard to repair something that's so far gone, that's so far broken. So why not pour into people who actually have the opportunity and the want?
See, but
to
then
wanna
the
do
thing
it?
is,
It's a double-edged sword.
sometimes, yeah, because sometimes some things are not beyond repair. It's just that you look at, some people tend to look at how much work it's going to take to repair,
absolutely.
and then they get turned off.
Yeah.
So let me, look at something that's a little bit easier to maintain and train it to be what I want it to be,
Right.
instead of focusing on that one thing that's going to take a little extra time, going to take a little extra work. And in the end, it may possibly be worth it. Hell, look at Judge Mathis. He's an example of somebody that was in the community, but he became something different. He was in jail. He was on drugs. He was everything that the court
person with a-
system
Yeah.
hates.
Right.
A black man in trouble all the time.
Right.
And he turned it around because somebody gave him an opportunity and saw something in him and helped him out.
Well, there's a certain type for every kind. There's a person is a different type of strength for that type of person. So there's something for each person. So what we got to do is continue to breed those people on both ends and support them. When we come back, more with It's T. Marie Radio Show. Keep it locked, you guys. Power 108.9.
Oh. Do me a favor, hit done on mine. That's it. Okay.
I don't have the
Hey y'all, thank you everybody for tuning in. Happy Wednesday. Happy April. Hope you guys enjoy April Fool's Day.
What? Oh.
April Fools, fool.
Oh shit. I can't I need to get the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I don't have the Wi-Fi. This is a new phone. Hey y'all. I'm sorry, my people got cut off.
He really was, and I
Who
like
was it?
listening to his show in the
Oh, I
morning because
miss-
they
I
be
love
talking
it.
some pretty
Absolutely.
decent stuff.
Which Wi-Fi am I
I only
on,
listened to it for a
Michael?
couple minutes. when like cousin Jeff come or Jeff Johnson, around that time he comes on,
Yeah. What's the Wi-Fi on here?
and boom, and I'm gone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Stay up.
Yeah.
But the one thing he does do, Ricky says what he wants to, how he wants to, when he wants to about the community. He don't really care too much about how they're gonna take it. What is the Wi-Fi?
Right there. Give me. I got you. Spaces. Right there. That big spaces.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Updating news and happenings here at Power.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Shut up.
And a long, hard day at work.
Today was long and hard, and I was almost.
We almost didn't make it, Michael. We almost didn't make it.
Yeah. Can somebody come bring me a car, please? Please. Yes. What you talk? You ready for me? I'm trying to log on. I don't care. I need to log on. Cause my people mad now. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, something wrong with my car. That shit, the electrical system that went out of it. You know, sometimes trying to get all them cute cars don't be worth it. So the whole system is gone out. And I come to find out that my car had a recall. Not my particular car, the kind of brand car had a recall for the electrical system going out. And now I'm fighting. Anyway, my warranty's working on it now instead of the recall people. Chrysler, because I have a Chrysler, sends in the damn part, and the part is sit in like 20 pieces, 20 to 30 pieces, whatever they have to put together. So now it's extra labor, and the warranty don't want to pay the mechanic for the extra labor. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. Okay. That's all I had was okay. All right. I ain't gonna even keep tripping.
You back yet, baby?
I'm ready. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'll do it when I come back. They have to watch on cues or yours. I'll come back. Sorry, y'all. I know y'all been wanting to watch. Sorry. Let's come back and talk about the dating with kids.
All right, somebody stay down there.
Well, we'll talk about dating with kids.
And somebody.
I really need to do this. I need to do that segment. I'm back. I'm talking now? No, welcome back. I feel like I'm supposed to talk right now. Hey, welcome back. It's T Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. Hey, so fresh, it's so clean. I know y'all like when I be singing. I got a whole concert queue posted. Y'all gotta go see.
Oh yeah,
thing.
check out our Instagram. That is T Marie Radio Show.
Y'all don't know I'm
Monica,
gonna have an album.
We need you on the show, baby.
Yes, y'all don't know I'm about to have a full album. I keep telling y'all at the end of the year, I'm gonna be like, that nigga do got an album. I tell y'all, if they can sing, I can sing too.
Like producer credits or.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. Whatever you need.
Okay.
So you gonna get the credit? Are you gonna do the songs too? You gonna help write the songs? To them? Help write them?
Okay.
I can only.
If I put an ooh and an I.
Okay, Michael gonna produce. You gonna what? What you gonna do?
So I get like writer credit.
Get right, but you gotta write a song.
Okay, I got some poems that I used to write.
Oh Lord.
I got some like poems that I used to write, and we could turn.
So you want me to sing them?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I wish you would have bought one so I could have sung it right now. Cause
I'm gonna bring my. I don't have
bring
a diary.
your poetry
I have
book.
a journal.
Right. So bring your journal of poetry, and I'm going to sing the song. I'm going to sing the song. I don't want to really do the question of the day right now because
we don't have to.
But maybe we can continue to
talk about our community.
Oh God. So I mean, I do know. I feel like possibly, hopefully, that this is the turnaround. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't know what it's going to take anymore. We've gone through so much. And as I was saying earlier, we've gone through so much that we've gotten used to the candlelight visuals, the bears, the bears and the candles and the speeches.
And these people being hashtags.
Yes.
Remember, and not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Yes,
but a couple years ago, everybody, it was a couple people who had made it known on social media that their New Year's resolution or their New Year's goal was to not become a hashtag.
Right.
Because that year we lost Trayvon Martin,
right.
Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, and so many other people that we lost to police brutality, violence within the community and things like that people didn't want to die and be a hashtag. But the thing is, I was talking to So if you guys are familiar with us, we have me, Eric, and the rest of our team. We have the Quintessential Gentleman magazine. It's a magazine that highlights men of color. You know, so we do our part to display the positive image from the Black male perspective. So we were having a conversation yesterday, actually. So like back in the day, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, these guys were out there in the front with what they believed in. And the thing is, the time that they grew up in, they knew that the stuff that they said could get them killed.
Yeah.
Then the thing is, you know, we got a little comfortable as the years went on. We're like, okay, well, we got this, we got that. We don't want to rock the boat. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people got scared. But then just because we got comfortable and things got okay, we started to see that the world was still not where we wanted it to be.
Absolutely.
Now, the thing now is, who's going to be that person? You know, because you feel like if you have a dream or a goal and you get to a certain level, somebody is going to not want you to get there. So they're going to try to take you down before you reach the heights that you're meant to get to. So sometimes your legacy ends up, you know, created well before you're supposed to, you know, go on to glory and stuff like that. But the question is, like, are people ever going to be back at that point where they're okay knowing, like, I believe in something so much that it may take my life.
We've gotten too comfortable. We've gotten too used to having things and not rocking the boat, and having things by not rocking the boat, that now we're afraid to rock the boat. When we used to get things by rocking the boat and protesting, doing the things that we wanted to do, we've gotten used to what quote unquote hush money. And when I say hush money, I mean getting the things we needed to get by just being quiet and laying back and relaxing and not rocking the boat. We've gotten too used to that hush money. And so with that being said, we don't do the things or go out and say the things we could say and do the things that we could do at one point in time. But now we're getting to the point that we have to be able to do that. But the thing is, we would be able to do that if we could depend on each other enough. See, we still have to depend on too many outside sources to support us, to give us what we need to make our communities better. And we actually need to be able to do that within our communities. Once we're able to do that, then we don't have to take hush money, because we don't have to. We have our own sources. We have our own people. We have our own things. But that takes a coming together that I don't know what it's going to take to
you know
get
what?
us there.
The word that I feel that a lot of us have gotten away from, like I said, back in those Martin Luther King or those Malcolm X days, there was one word that I feel was very big that people don't appreciate or respect anymore. And it's sacrifice.
Oh yeah, we don't do that. You know what?
You've
We don't do
gotten
that.
so comfortable with what it is that you have that you don't want to lose it. I said the same thing about myself.
Absolutely.
Because being an entrepreneur, as we know, it's not an easy thing.
Sacrifice makes you uncomfortable, and when you get uncomfortable, you don't want to do things.
Absolutely.
And you have to really. This is how you know if you love something or someone, and that's if you'll sacrifice for them. If you will not sacrifice for that one thing or that someone,
I'm gonna pause you. And I'm gonna tell you this right now.
What?
Just know I love you.
I know it.
I tell you why in the car.
I can't stand this sucker. We come back, y'all. It's major. It's in the building. It's major. Jalen Miller is in the building. We're going to talk more about it. You guys keep it locked. It's T Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. Download this segment. Dang, I ain't recorded.
That's what I said. So you're one of the writers and directors. Writer, director, producer. Oh, that's oh yeah. So we're gonna talk about this movie, but then we also, since you are raising a young Black man, and Jalen, since you are a young Black man, we definitely want to get y'all's input on the recent developments with what's been going on with Nipsey Hussle, you know, being a positive influence in our community and things like that. So we'll see y'all Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, doing both, I guess. Yeah. You still ain't working? You getting invited now? Mike, because you always in LA.
Always.
It's on Friday.
Yeah, right.
When you gonna be back?
You'll be back.
It's one
then,
on
won't
Sunday
you?
too.
Right.
Nah, it's Saturday and Thursday. No.
He didn't try. That's what he didn't say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Come on, T. Give me your phone. Can you send me that, please? Thank you kindly.
Okay. Look at that bullshit now. I ain't gonna fuck with the baby.
That baby almost grown.
Oh my God. Okay. That's it, child. My kids be slack. Oh,
Who is Pac-Man? 496. 49.
I'm ready when you're ready.
Oh yeah, I can't have my number.
Cause they'll be calling. I
Right.
promise you they will. Thank you guys for tuning back in. I'm sorry, y'all. My phone is on some other stuff. I do deeply apologize, but hopefully it'll stay
But nothing
live.
too serious. She got her a new phone. She got her upgrade. Shout out to AT&T.
Oh, let me shout out AT&T.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, they want to do something with us live so bad.
Hey,
So
I
we
need
really
a
got to
new
figure
phone.
that out.
I think I
We'll go over there. We really got to figure it out because they watch the show and I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Hey everybody. Oh, hey everybody. I'm so sorry. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yo, bro.
Cute.
I think I had too much Hennessy, man.
I'm bringing him toss to
This
cute with a
Hennessy
hand.
getting to me. I ain't gonna lie, I'm
Thank
a
y'all
little smashed. I'm a little dressed.
We're gonna be a little bit of
We in the club, man.
Oh, we back?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're back. It's T.
but they
Marie.
broke.
I wish I could hear the music though. Thank you for
tuning
tuning in. It's your girl T. Marie.
Yeah, I'm pretty,
With my
but
boy
I'm low.
Q. Right here in the building, Power 108.9. It's T. Marie Radio Show every Wednesday, 8 to 10. We do it again and again and again. We appreciate you guys sharing and talking about us every week. Oh my God, I just appreciate it. But now we got something major. It's
We
major
do.
Q.
It's major.
Q. Talk
Major
about it.
moves.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, we are big when it comes to supporting our community. We
Right.
do what we can to spotlight the greatness in our community.
Right.
So as we said earlier in the show, there's a movie that's coming out entitled It's Major. It has Arnez J, the comedian. It has Ebony Steele. It has Tawanda Braxton. But one of the best things about this movie, it was written, directed, and produced by a strong Black woman and her strong Black son.
Yeah.
Sinedria Potter Holt and Jalen Miller. Welcome to T. Marie Radio Show.
Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Awesome. I mean, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that was a major piece of work and a major accomplishment. So let's talk about how we even got there. How we get to here. What's it about?
The movie is about a small town basketball team that makes it to a big tournament in Atlanta. The team is made up of mostly underprivileged boys, and the coach is their only hope for making it to the tournament. So it's a family comedy about all the things that he goes through to try to get his team to Atlanta.
I love that.
And it's based on a true story.
Oh, really? Cool story.
My brother.
I thought it was got to be somebody you know now.
Yeah, my brother's a small town coach in a small town, and they have tournaments all over, and he's always raising money and doing car washes and fundraisers and things to try to get his team to the different places, because although they're underprivileged, they're deserving and they're good kids. And they made it to a tournament in Atlanta, and he wasn't able to come up with all the funds to get them there. So he showed up on my doorstep with his whole team and his family unannounced.
I love it.
And I wrote the movie that night in my head.
Are you serious?
With almost 21 people in my house, unexpected.
Wow.
So how long did it take for you to write the entire script for the movie?
Well, I came up with the concept that night when it happened, when they showed up on my doorstep, but probably about 90 days, about 3 months.
Okay, so you wrote the movie.
Right.
Okay, so how long have you been in the industry?
Ready? So my first book came out in 2004, and everyone that read it said it should be a movie. And I was getting quotes for different people to adapt my book into a screenplay, but the quotes were really expensive.
Mhm.
And so I decided, I should just go to film school and learn how to do it for myself.
Nice.
I just think like that. And then when I decided that, I said, well, if I'm going to go to film school, I need to go to Hollywood.
Mm.
And I'd never been to the West Coast or anything. I didn't know anybody there. And I moved across country to LA, went to the New York Film Academy at Universal Studios.
Nice.
So once I finished film school, I came back to Atlanta. Everyone was like, you are already in Hollywood. Why would you come back to Atlanta? And I said, Atlanta's getting ready to be a strong force in television and film. But I was a few years
Absolutely.
early.
You were a little, just a little.
But I could see it, and I
Right.
knew what was going to happen. And here, in LA, I'm one in a million of writer directors. But when I came back here, I worked consistently for the last 13 years. I wrote, direct, produced, ghost written, all kind
Right.
of stuff. And now I'm really excited to be doing my own content
Right. So, and with your son.
with my son. Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about his part in it because he's quiet. He's sitting over there trying to make sure everybody sees him on social media. Tell me about your involvement, Jalen, and what you're doing and how this has impacted you and how watching your mom made you want to get involved.
Just growing up, like always being around her, like with her projects as a little kid, just running around the sets and stuff. I just see what she go through, the ups and downs,
Mm.
and I started my own YouTube channel, so that helped me with my production, and so we came up with the idea, and we just been working together ever since.
What's the content on your YouTube channel?
It's
Or something you're laughing. That means something you ain't got no business to do. What's the content on your YouTube channel, Jalen?
nah, it's like it's more so for like my age group, my age range. So it's more for like
What you trying to say, Jalen?
I'm in your age range.
What are you trying to say?
like
No,
like
you're
the
not
older
cute.
folks, they're gonna be like, oh,
What's
these-
old?
I'm waiting because Jalen messing up. Jalen better get kicked out the studio, Jalen.
I'll probably say like, nah, it ain't no. I ain't gonna say no age. It's just like they'll be like, oh, this generation this, oh, this generation that.
So
But-
how do we misunderstand you? Because you're having a hard time trying to say what we're not going to get. But how do you feel like that we misunderstand your content? Because a lot of people, I probably have a daughter that's in your age group. But how do we misunderstand or your content, or you think we do?
like times is different now.
Mhm.
Like say if a girl say something out the way, you're gonna be like, oh this that about her, you're gonna judge her, all that. But it's just like in this, I would like to say, like in this type of generation, the culture, like folks are very open
Yeah.
nowadays. Like they open about everything. So
pretty much what you guys do where we would judge is just really it's like a no big judgment zone.
yeah, like you just off of somebody say you're gonna judge them, but nowadays people are so open, they'll say anything. So, but it's just that's how people are nowadays.
So what I want to know now, working with your mother, who is, she's your mother, so she's a little older than you, and she's from a different generation. Did you find that there were any gaps in generation that found it hard to like kind of work together? And what did you guys do to kind of make it easier, make the flow a little easier, understanding each other and where you guys are as far as culture?
Yeah, it's a big gap. Like when we sit,
Mama, whatever.
like when we sit down and like watch the movie, like to see it come through, like she'll be like, oh, this is good, oh, this that, and I'm sitting back like, no,
It's not.
nah, like we gotta change that. So
Wow.
but
Like music,
Right.
like when we were doing the scoring in some of the scenes. So I have a track on there, and he was like, "No, this is a better track."
Right.
So for stuff, the good thing about the movie is that it has something for our generation as well as
Right.
their generation.
Right.
And so for some of the stuff on the teen side, he was able to bring a lot of insight, and this is a better song, or
Right.
this is
Right.
how we say it,
Gotcha.
as
Oh,
far
right.
as like dialogue and stuff going through the script. And he was like, we say no cap or whatever they be saying.
Oh, you a capping or something, or capping, or yeah.
But when
I
I
still
say it,
know.
he's looking at me like, don't say that. Don't.
Right.
I'm still on fleek. I'm kind of behind.
We gone, girl. Right. That's you and me. Okay.
So, but yeah, his insight was really good on the young aspect of
Right.
it, like just knowing the things that they do, because I look at him sometimes. He's my only child,
Okay.
and I look at him sometimes, and I'm like, oh, this generation is lost.
I know.
But then I think back and say, hey, our parents probably said
Said
the
that-
same thing about
mhm.
us. And he always tells me, if y'all had social media back then, y'all would be doing the same thing that we're doing now. We just didn't have it. So I don't know.
I don't know
That's the
if that's
case.
that's strong
Like
because
some-
some things they do just be
It's too much.
right.
Like on some of their videos, he does a lot of interview videos.
Okay.
So they'll, rate me 1 to 10 and, all those types of
Right.
videos and stuff. And the people will look in the camera and say things that I feel like me as a woman, I would never say.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I guess they're open and that's normal to them. But I don't think that I would do
I know.
that at that age. But
So with you being in the industry for what, almost 13 years at this point, did you find it hard working with your son, bringing him in on this project and accepting his ideas or criticisms as far as the project went?
I don't think it was hard working with him. I think you have to definitely separate. When I'm on set, I'm the director. I'm not mom.
Okay.
And I expect of him the same thing that I expect of everyone else. So if he sends out a text or an email or any type of communication, none of that abbreviation and all that stuff that they do, you're not texting your friend. So me, it's teaching. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when we do have a disagreement, then I use it as a learning lesson to say, hey, you have to always make sure that you proof. I'm really big on proofreading. I don't like typos.
We
so
butt heads on that.
they want to abbreviate everything,
Right.
and I'm punctuation and things, because that's your first impression when you send something out to someone.
Right,
So
right, absolutely.
we go back and forth about things like that. But it just when I'm on set, I'm not mom. He don't get any special treatment. If
Okay.
anything, I'm harder on him
Right, right.
than everyone else because I'm trying to teach him. I'm trying to pass something on to him. And he's receptive most of the time, but he's still 17. So there's
Right.
times where he was like, I got to do this again.
Yeah.
Or I got to make
again.
another phone, because he's literally handling the team side, scheduling, keeping the social media posts done. That's what his major is going to be. He's going to school for marketing with a specialization in social media.
Nice.
And he's getting a really good actual taste of that with doing the social media management for the movie and all of the pages that we have associated with the movie. But he's been pretty good to work with. He's listening.
Nice. Well, when we come back more with Mom and Jalen and It's Major, we're going to talk more about the movie, where we can see it, events that are coming up, screenings, and we're going to get in a little bit into this community talk. It's T Marie Radio right here on Power 108.9. You guys keep it locked.
How you do it? Tell them better than you. Yeah, I'm kick back with 4 pieces like a Kit Kat. Me fucking if you
It's just FM right here.
Thank you guys. Thank
Internet.
y'all for
Internet.
tuning in, though. Like, I appreciate
Tune
it.
in
Hey,
108.9.
I'm with you. That punctuation stuff. They know what I
You
mean.
can't be writing like that.
They know what I mean.
What's the web address? What's the web address?
How someone can listen
Go to Facebook. Just tell them go to the Facebook page.
and they can listen there.
You said power.
Mm-hmm.
Power 108.9.
You know they looking at you right
On your Facebook? I can't even find my live. What is going on? He keep telling me to get an iPhone.
Power108.com.
Thank you.
Power-
Hey, Ron, thank
Power
you so
108.
much. Hey,
.com.
Hey, Keita. Hi, Keita. Summer. Hey,
Crazy.
Boo.
I can't find mine.
Raphael, Warren, Fine Dining,
Oh, she have that?
and Roger Calvin.
there.
Robin, thank y'all for tuning back in. I appreciate it. And thank you, Devon. I appreciate you. We ain't seen each other in a long time.
I'm with you on that
Wow.
punctuation and on that.
Oh,
What about
that's
me?
amazing.
You proud of me? You just proud of him?
Nah, you 13 years in the game. You the chief.
Yeah, you proud of yourself at this point.
I'm proud of you, Mom.
Thank
Look,
you.
Mom, like, nah, don't try to dap me up now.
You don't wanna shake
I'm
my hand?
tired. Oh, I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Don't blame me. I'm mentally exhausted. Okay. I'm tired. Please. So some cinnamon.
Oh, seriously.
Like in addition to being a filmmaker, I'm also a certified real estate appraiser. I've been appraising. I've had appraising firm for 18 years,
Oh, nice.
and it's just trying to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Well, yeah, you definitely gotta have multiple sources. I'm
Oh,
yeah,
heck yeah.
but I'm tired. And so after the movie tour, I'm 10 days and
Hey, Dwayne.
I gotta take.
Yes, I'm ready when you're ready. Thank you.
T. Marie, you look great today, sis.
With no eyelashes, I still do.
Oh, that's what it is. I was trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah, when I had my yes. Oh, listen. Usually I have them on, maybe like bam. I be blinking and talking and carrying on, but that's what it is. I don't have my lashes on today. It was a no lash type of day. I'm ready though.
You want to come back to some Nipsey?
Sure.
A song that people would know because I don't think I know
don't know
his
any
song.
song.
He don't know anything. Again, most
Last
people.
time, I got it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rep. Last time that I checked, I was selling zones in the set. Make a $250,000, no sweat.
Last time that I checked, hey, last time that I checked, I was watching Steve Murray on the tower 108 on the channel. Yeah, I just messed it up. Thank you for tuning back in. I was trying to rap. I just forget. I just rapped and messed it up. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Good.
I'm usually, well, you know, today's been that day. I'm going to come back with a freestyle like later at the end of the show, though.
Hey, we had a question that came up via social media about Nipsey Hussle. It's amazing how we don't know one Nipsey Hussle song.
But
However, his
yes.
impact was so powerful. Please explain.
Yeah, because of what he did in the community. We didn't know all his music, but what we did know is all the things that he did. That's how most of us got to know him first.
Yeah.
Before his music.
Well, for me, the way that I got to know Nipsey Hussle is I saw him as the guy that was dating Lauren London.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been, you know, they have been dating for about 5 years. But
Right.
yeah, that's actually true. A lot of us did not know his music. I just sat there and said, what songs did he do? But I did hear about all the amazing things that he did. We actually wrote on some of the things that he did in the community. He was not just a rapper. He was somebody that saw a need in the community and wanted to make his community better than when he left it.
Jalen, for you, did you know his music and then hearing about what happened and then being a teen, you know, and trying to be impactful in your community, how did that affect you? And matter of fact, other teens and people your age group or around you, how did that affect you?
5 questions.
Well, wrap it up in one, doggone. I'm just saying. Shut up.
But like y'all said, I have never heard none of his music, but I knew who he was.
Right.
Because like what he does for the community and stuff, I knew he made music. I just never listened to it. But I knew he was. I seen a documentary of him on YouTube before, something like that. And when I heard the news, I was out with my friends and they said it, and it was like, "Damn, that's crazy." But yeah, it's hitting hard because like folks talking about, because they say it was his one of his own homeboys that did it. So people saying it's affected him, talking about, you know, watch who you around and stuff like that. But yeah, it's affecting a lot of people because I mean, some of my friends actually listen to him. So, but that's like a message, like no matter what you do, it's gonna be people that wish bad, wish harm on you. They don't want to see you like rise to the top.
And it's unfortunate that you have to watch sometimes your own circle. You don't even know how do you decipher that person who's not your people. You know what I'm talking about? How do you even do that? Because I think there was a time though he probably did find out because he had separated himself from this person. But it's just we're just at a point where when you realize that this person's not good, you go ahead, cut ties. Just let it go. You just got to let some people go.
See, but unfortunately, maybe in a situation like this, you did not know that this person wasn't good for you until the end.
Until it happened.
Yeah. But I think, though, because of course, I don't really have all the details. I think he asked the person to leave. This particular guy, he had asked him to leave his store or leave from around there because I think they had actually kind of separated or he had kind of stopped dealing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy came back and killed him. So he wasn't hanging around them any longer. They had actually cut ties. Yeah. So, I mean, so now I want to talk about it with you, Jalen. And the reason why is because you and your friends and the people you're around, you're the next big impact leaders, influencers of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take that upon yourself as not necessarily a burden, but as something that you have to do, or does it make you think about how you move and what you do?
Yeah, it definitely like make you think about like what you do and how you move, cause I mean, true colors always gonna be revealed. Like you got a group of friends, you know, who like really down for you. Then you got the folks who just around, you cool with whatever. Like if like I'm in high school, like every day you rock around school. All right, you got your little closest homeboys, and you got the little folks you just dap up, say what's up, keep it walking. But like he was like him in his situation, he was a neighborhood hero in a sense. So everybody loved him for that. So he was showing love to everybody. But I mean, like I said, it's always gonna be people out there that don't get your message or whatever. They just like what he did was a selfish act because he wasn't considering his wife or girlfriend,
Right.
his kids, his family. He wasn't considering none of that. That was a selfish act. But yeah, like just coming up, you just gotta best person you can trust is yourself. Like you can't really trust people out here like that.
And Mom, to hear him say that, how does it make you feel in a time like now where we feel like we got to protect our kids, especially our men, our boys? I mean, our girls too, but our men, because they're the leaders. Not that our women aren't, but there's a certain thing as positioning. And our men, a lot of it, as far as our community, start with our men. And you have a son. What are you thinking in this day and time, and how does that affect you too?
I'm always really concerned and worried about him. I tell him all the time, when you're out with your friends, always be aware of your surroundings. And I also tell him with your friends, with people around you, when someone shows you who they are, you believe them the first time. Pay very close attention, because people will show you who they are, and you pay attention to that. But I always tell them, just be alert, watch your surroundings, watch who you're hanging around. My son is 6'6". So I'm like, you the first person they gonna see out of anything. So when you're hanging out, you gotta be really mindful of that. We shouldn't have to tell them that kind of stuff, but we do. In this day and age, we have to prepare them. And if something happens, you need to distance yourself. You need to always just make sure, because he's gonna stand out. He's gonna be the first person that they see out of the crowd.
Right.
So this is what I want to know, and you can answer this or you can answer this. So since Jalen, your age range is going to be the leaders of tomorrow, the future and things like that, and we have quite a few of us that are still in the industry. How do we properly transition to, to bridge that gap to make sure, everybody's good?
I'd probably say like the difference is like social media and technology. That's what we grew up on. So like y'all, I would like to say had to have lived on both sides of it. So
yeah,
like us, that's what we grew up on. So that's what we know. Like when I had kids, it's gonna be something that they have that I didn't have that I'm not gonna understand. But I mean, it is like kids, like young kids, like how y'all say like y'all, like it's kids out here who don't do nothing but just play the game on their phone and stuff, because that's what they grew up on. Y'all grew up on, well, I grew up on it too, but playing outside, stuff like that.
Come in when the street lights come on.
Yeah. Be sleepy when you get there.
I think my generation was probably the last generation to really like do that for real. But yeah, like stuff like that, like kids, like it's 4-year-olds with iPhones and stuff, and
true story.
It's so much information you can gather on, like you can learn how to live life on the internet, and kids seeing like folks dying, folks doing this, folks doing that. They're gonna be like, oh, that's how you live. That's how they gonna go about things. But like y'all type older folks or elders,
older folks,
they grew up on like hardcore, like y'all learn from other people, like wisdom type stuff.
Right,
so,
getting smacked in the mouth when they say what you're supposed to say and not being where you're supposed to be.
And now you can't do that.
Right.
They got a whole 800 number now.
Right. I tell them, if you go call on me, you better pack your stuff and go away from them to come pick you up. I ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, yeah. I mean, everybody I don't know. Yeah, you can't put your hands on kids no more.
So I have a question. So, you know how like when we grew up, there was, struggles and hard times, and our parents were just coming. Our parents were just coming out of the 50s and stuff, right?
Right.
So they didn't know about. I don't know if they didn't know, but they didn't tell us about credit and things like that. We had to find out
The
on our
hard
own.
way.
By making mistakes.
Exactly, by ruining it, by getting all those credit cards in college and that kind of thing.
Yes, girl.
And so, but now that we know better, we have to equip our kids to be
Yes.
successful. But my question is, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you make sure? Because, like, for me, I know I tried to give my son everything that I didn't have,
That
and I
was-
didn't have anything.
And that's where I'm that person.
Yeah.
That's where, from my parenting and from my mom, that's where we went wrong.
That's where
My
we went
mother
wrong.
says the things that you didn't get is what made you who you are.
Exactly.
The work that you had to do, the struggle that you had to go through, that's what developed the character. That's what made you have to work and want to work to
Right.
go get
And you
those
have to
things.
prove
And we-
yourself.
Yeah, but now we give
They
them
entitled.
everything and they become entitled.
They are
We didn't
entitled.
even have the right to be entitled. Like your mom would, for real,
Yeah.
snatch you, act like you was owed something and see then you not get it. Like you didn't have that right. But now a lot of us, I know, and it's so funny I had this conversation. I did it a lot out of guilt because I was a single parent.
We had that conversation.
I did it out of guilt because I didn't want their dad wasn't around or wasn't as active as I wanted them to be, and they had other people who had a dad. So I tried to substitute things for their dad not being around, and then make their life easy because their dad wasn't around or whatever. And we do that because of something that we think they're going to be lacking because somebody or something wasn't around. So we keep giving them these things and they never learn to do anything. And they start to think, well, you owe me this. This is what I'm supposed to have. This is what you're supposed to do. And we have created nothing but a monster. And we wonder how the monster got in our house is something that we created.
Now, this is another thing that I want to know. Now, back in the day, or not back in the day, but in a different type of generation, the conversations that were had between parents and kids are completely different than the conversations that are had now between parents and kids. Back then, when grown folks was talking, you were not supposed to be anywhere in the room. Like, I don't think I got let out of my grandmother's back room until I was probably 16, 17. And that probably was because they needed me to come in there so they can give me an order so I can run to the store and pick something up.
Do something, right.
So that's when I got let in the front room with the adults. But nowadays, it's like kids are around and they hear everything. And the things that they're not hearing directly from your mouth, they're going on social media and they can see for themselves.
There's no filter for them anymore. So we can't even, if we tried to stop them from hearing it from us, they have social media.
Right.
They have access to anything.
That's why I said these cell phones allow our kids to have a whole nother life that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take their phones, you could check it, but they know how to put it in another file or whatever. So they're able to have a whole, they think we don't know.
Right.
But they're able to have this whole other life. And then, like, my son doesn't know what it means to struggle. And so now that he's 17, it's like I'm like, what did I do?
Right.
Because I tried to make sure that he didn't have to experience that, but then he doesn't have, like, in life, if stuff doesn't work out, then how do you handle that if you never struggle? Every time you flip the light switch, it came on.
It came on.
So you don't know what that feels like. You don't know what it feels like to turn the faucet and ain't no water.
Ain't no what, baby.
And you gotta go fill up water jugs at somebody else's house. You know what I'm saying? And they laughing at you while you filling up the water. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know what those kind of things feel like. So I don't know. And I'd like to ask you, like you've never really had to struggle. You don't have any street experience.
So when we come back, we're gonna let them answer that question. We need you to think about that and tell us how you feel, Jada, like for real, how you really, really feel. It's T Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. Keep it live.
Cause they be feeling like they be having stuff going on, but like what? They be having their own little teenage stress, I guess, but like what it is.
My daughter's sitting up watching literally makeup tutorials. 19, she about to be 20. I mean, she's in college.
Do makeup?
She can do it. That's not what she's going to school to be a nurse practitioner. No, my daughter going to school to be a nurse practitioner. She could be a makeup artist. She does makeup, does it really well, but she's not.
It's like I'm in the studio.
It's either they doing makeup, selling hair.
But this life has become so superficial.
But it's teaching them in a way to become
Fashion Nova models.
That part. But yeah, like seriously. But it's this world is teaching. They're teaching our girls to become so superficial. And I want to know, like, even we'll talk about that. How does he view like the girls in school? What's attractive? What's not attractive? Who would you date? Matter of fact, what type of girl would you date? Think about that. What type of girl would you date? Like
Nah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because this dating for these teenagers, like, it is just crazy. It's crazy. I thought dating for grown folks was bad. We'll talk about that. Jesus. And they got followers too talking about. That's what they doing. The mama doing it too. Child in one room talking about, mama in the other room talking about. Oh,
grandma's in the 40s. The mom was 29 and the daughter
is what, 15, 16? That's true. Generational.
What our grandma looks like.
Her daughter is 30.
Wow.
I met somebody else that 4 generations of their family are still there because they all
So young. Yeah.
So that grandma that we were
Great grandma 69.
So you said grandma, the way grandmas look these days.
Oh no, the grandmas don't look like
60
that.
today is
Great
not
grandma.
60 back then.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know how old my grandma is.
That's probably true. Yep.
Yeah.
That wasn't the beat right there, but no, that wasn't the beat, but you don't hear no beat. You still hear them talk. Oh, all right. So this is a shame. Hey, we're back at Team Marie Radio Show. That's the beat right there. The producer telling me to do one thing. Beat still ain't dropped. Now I gotta wait till you get through talking. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Team Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. We're talking major talk with the producer, creator, writer, everything of It's Major, Jalen, and his mom. What's mama's name? I didn't even hear mama say her
Lord,
name.
she wasn't listening.
her.
It's
Y'all know-
Sanidria.
What is it?
Sanidria.
Sanidria, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I be doing like 17 other things trying to get the phone so y'all can be seen and all this stuff. So my apologies, Sanidria. I'm so sorry. Yes. So we were talking off air. We were talking dating and
But before we left,
Jalen was
Sanidria asked the question.
yes.
Go and ask that question yet again.
Just the fact that in life you haven't had experienced a lot of
Yes.
struggle, and next month you're going to turn 18 and walk into adulthood as a young man. How would you handle stress or struggle or failures when stuff don't go the way that it's supposed to?
Well, like you said, I ain't faced a lot, but ain't nobody like perfect. Like everybody go through stuff, so it ain't just like you going into the world blind. Like say if I'm looking at something, right? Like when I was younger, like if I look at something, I'd be like, oh, I want that so bad. But my mind was trained to where, oh, I want it, but how I'm gonna get it? So then like working, I used to, well, still do sometimes, work with my dad, like working to get what I want. Like when I was a kid, like when I used to, all right, say you or my dad or somebody buy me something, that's cool. But like when I go out there and get it myself with my own money, hard work money, it felt good. So that was something that I took in and always strive to do, to try to get it myself before I ask. But like facing struggle and stuff, like things don't work out, like that happen. That's not even like just financial. That's with anything you do, basketball, sports, social media, anything. Not everything gonna work out, but it just, you can't let it be the end of the world. You got to push through it, fight through it, find ways to change, find ways to to adjust, adapt, and always have multiple plans because you never know. One could kick off, one could go down the drain. You just always stay on your toe.
Mama, you
So,
did good.
You know what? I was just about to say
Yeah.
that, Jalen. That was a great answer.
Like,
And
honestly.
Sanidra, I sat up there and looked at your face. She was like, "Damn, my son
I
said
mean,
that."
right,
Like it's
right.
like it's something you didn't even know. So like these are the conversations that need to be had. When
Yeah.
you guys feel like it's the right time for parents to talk to their children nowadays, because kids are growing up a lot faster than they were back then. You know, what is that appropriate age to have these conversations with your kids?
To me, it's
About
no, it's,
life.
yeah. To me, it's no longer teenage. I think once you reach teenage, you're too late. I really think 9, 10, unfortunately, because they're starting to be exposed to so much,
Right.
you have to go ahead and have these conversations before they get exposed, because not only they're on TV, but in school with other people around them, they're being exposed to things that you may try to protect them from. So you have to start asking your kids, you know, what have your friends done? What do you know? Like, I mean, literally, like, so what's going on in your school? What's going on with you? What has something happened to you that's made you uncomfortable? Has something happened to you that you've never seen before? Let's discuss it. You have to have an open dialogue, because all the time the kids won't come and tell you. You have to kind of ask questions and then create an atmosphere of safety so they'll be okay with saying whatever it is that they need to say.
I totally agree. 100% agree. That's what my parents did with me. Just to piggyback on what you said, my father always used to tell me, like it's ingrained in my memory, I'm not just talking to you like a 10-year-old, I'm talking to you like a 20-year-old, because I don't know if I'm gonna be here forever. So you're gonna have to know how to make sure you got it while you here. So when I'm not here, you're gonna be good.
Yeah.
I agree. So let's get back into the movie. So as I'm looking at the flyer and the promotions that you guys have going on for the movie, I see that you guys have quite a few, I guess, millennials or the younger age people, but then you guys also have some of the people that have been around for a while. Like, how was the set? Did you guys find it hard for like certain age groups to get together? And how was that whole experience?
Nah, like on the set, it wasn't everybody got along because like it was a lot of people first time or they early in the game when did like a couple times. But like Miss Tawanda, Miss Ebony, all of them.
See, side note, shout out to you. Because see, that's respect right there. See, some kids will just walk up to you and call you by your first name. Right. So, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But they was like most people were just listening to them because they give you like say if you tired, you keep going over and over again, you messing up. They wouldn't like they'll kind of like talk to you, help you out, give you tips and pointers because they've been in this game for a long time. So they'll just help you out, talk to you, good vibes. It was a real cool, easy going set.
So how do you feel the whole process went?
I thought it went well. There's always going to be a certain amount of chaos on set. I try to be the type of producer and director that eliminates that as much as possible. I think organization is very, very important. One of the things that I've learned over the years is if you're just organized, you know what I'm saying? Like that cuts down on a lot of the stuff because there's going to be things that happen. It's nothing you can really do about that in production. So that if you make sure everything else is on point, when those things that do fall apart, then, you know, it's manageable. But the set atmosphere, I always try to have a really smooth set atmosphere. One of the things that's big for me is that everyone on my set is important, whether it's the intern or PA or the producer or the camera guy. Everyone is important. I don't make anyone feel less than or, oh, you're only an intern or you're only a PA. And every part is important or they wouldn't be there.
Right.
So one of the things I'll try to make sure is that we have, you know, harmony on set as much as possible.
You know what? I think I just cracked the case.
Did you crack it?
I did.
Okay.
So the movie is called It's Major.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's somebody that acted in the movie. Carl Major Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your brother?
That's my brother. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Look at you.
Boom. It's named after a brother.
you.
Boom. Got it.
So my dad was Major, and my brother is Major, and his son is Major. So we have 3 majors in our family.
Okay.
And then he named his daughter Majority.
So how major and majority.
I
And
love
she's in
Wow.
the movie as well.
So how was that to put together something to have these amazing actors and actresses and comedians be a part of this movie, but to have the family, you got your brother, you got your niece, you got your son. Like, how was that experience?
My sister, my other brother.
wow.
So I have
Everybody.
I have a very talented family, and sometimes people just need a chance.
Yeah.
And I knew the potential and capabilities that my brother had, and so I wrote a movie for him, and he starred in it.
Now, how did that feel, Jalen, working with your uncle and your cousins and aunties and
Everybody.
right?
like I said, the set was fun because you with your cousins or your uncle, like he crack a lot of jokes. Like he a goofy uncle. Like you be with him all for a week or a weekend, you be dying laughing whole time. It's just fun being around them. But being on the set with them, it didn't even feel like no movie. It really felt like a family reunion because
That's nice.
like the personality everybody had when they come together, it just make one big good time. So it was a good set.
Okay. Now, how did it feel to have the opportunity to work with these, already celebrities, Tawanda, Ebony,
Arnaz.
RJ, that's what I was about to say.
Arnaz.
SJ.
I wouldn't say that I don't be like starstruck. Like it don't really do nothing to me. But it was
It's cool.
yeah, like it didn't like I wasn't like, oh, this. I respect who they are, but it wasn't like, oh, this, and I was freaking out. I was just chilling.
So is this?
But it was good working with them.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that you've had the opportunity to be a part of one of your mother's films or one of her projects?
No.
No, he had to think about it. No.
What grade was that, Mom? My dad stayed on Cleveland Avenue, and I had to be like 4th, 3rd grade. Yeah, she made a scary. She made a scary movie, and
Off Cleveland Avenue.
Yo.
lived on this dead end street.
and I had to make. She needed some blood for the movie, so I just ran in the kitchen. I got some ketchup, some tomato paste, some water, and I just stirred
What grade
it
you was in?
up. I don't know what grade. I just stirred it up.
He was a chemist.
And I was
Real
like-
quick.
And I was like, I was a part of it. I made the blood for them.
Right, there you go.
Did you give him credit?
No.
Uh,
I don't even remember it. I mean, I remember the movie.
That movie bought it.
So let's talk about where you're going to be showing, what the events coming up this weekend. Is it this weekend, this Saturday?
So
Starting
opening night is tomorrow.
Okay, start tomorrow.
Yeah, opening night is tomorrow at the Earl Smith Strand Theater.
Right.
We have
Marriott.
2 shows, 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m.
Right.
It's at the Marietta Square.
Yep.
So 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. and then Saturday we're at the AMC Theater in
Yes.
Marketplace.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
6:45 and 8:45, and then the following week on April 13th we'll be in Burbank in California.
Oh,
The
awesome.
AMC 16.
Yes.
Then we're going to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is really special to me. That's my hometown.
Nice.
We actually shot half of the movie there. I was able to use a lot of the locals and different, and just give people opportunities that they would not otherwise
That's
have.
awesome.
So that was real important to me. One of the things that brings me a lot of joy with doing these projects is I like to provide jobs for people. I like to do things that employ other people, and I felt really good about that.
That's
And been able
good.
to use people in my hometown. So that screening on April 20th, Easter weekend, will be in my hometown, Winston-Salem. Then we're going to Louisville, Kentucky, and then we're closing out in Maryland, which is Tawanda Braxton's hometown area. So
Yes.
she's super excited about that. And then after the tour, then the movie will be available on all the digital platforms: iTunes, Google Play, Amazon. And because it is a teen-based movie, it'll also be on Xbox and PlayStation.
I love it. So
Wow.
we got to come back so you can tell us where we can follow you.
Okay.
What we need to do to get in the next movie.
Yes.
And then Q and I are going to talk about the question of the day. I don't know if you guys want to stay for that, but I know you have things to do. But this T Marie Radio Show right here on Power 108.9. Keep it locked. We're going to wrap it up so you'll know how to catch It's Major. Keep it locked.
Hey, y'all, word of the day, nepotism. Y'all ready for the definition?
Nope. Mm-mm.
You don't know what it means?
I know what it means.
Okay.
I'm sure you treated everybody the same.
It's a who you know. This world is a we live
Always
in a
who you know.
world.
You can teach anybody pretty much anything. So the knowledge you gain is one thing, but if you want me to do something, and you'll show me how to do it and how to do it where I can perform well.
Right.
So you don't have to be like,
But we're supposed to do that. Like nepotism is not a bad thing. It's just oftentimes we don't have anything to pass to our kids, and we need to work on that.
It's used for evil.
What's your name?
Cute.
Yeah, wonderful. Mm.
we don't even teach risk. We live too safe sometimes in the wrong ways. And so we don't teach our kids the risks that they need to take, some of the things that they need to give up as the sacrifices so they can not depend on somebody else and become self-sufficient. And our kids start to grow up looking for jobs instead of creating opportunities. So we gotta stop teaching our kids to look for jobs all the time.
But one thing I can say, I feel that this new generation, they may look for jobs, but they're looking for jobs to fund their dreams. I feel like there are a lot more entrepreneurs.
And that's because they're not looking, but they're working now, like at the young age, so they can fund what they want to do later. We started funding stuff at 30 or whatever.
But I feel like they're the ones that kind of taught us that social media can be very lucrative.
Right now.
You know, you going on YouTube, doing things on YouTube, making money off of
So they don't even think about going to work a 9 to 5 like that. They're thinking about they're allowing their creative sides to take care of them, and that's okay, because after you go spend all this money on college and you get all this debt, you still may get a job that pay you $15 an hour that somebody else could do. You know what I'm talking about? $20. You don't create it. I mean,
you got $49,000 worth of college debt, but you make $32,000.
Yes, my last company I worked for, my last real estate company, well, the property management company, they were only pretty much hiring people out of college. But hold up, you can do that without a license. But what they would do, they were conditioning them to me. They were conditioning them to be workers, like, because in property management, you don't have to do. There's certain things about moving up in property management, so not working weekends and different things like that. They were we're creating robots where you work when they want you to work, and then make you feel like it was you were rewarding because you were doing other things and giving up so much of yourself. And so here they are, these kids that went to college, making the same money that somebody who just give you an opportunity. You're making
a quarter more than the person who didn't.
And sometimes not even, because there's other people who make more than they do in that company. So I'm just like, you gotta start. It don't pay to always. I mean, if you want to go to college, that's fine. But they need to understand that education is not just books. Education is a whole bunch of experiences and life things that you learn. That's where your real education comes from. That's the thing that can take you through life and through anything outside those books.
The big play about college, and this is what I didn't realize, is who you gonna meet. That's the big play. So really, like, going in and shit, I'm gonna do the best I possibly can, but
make some connections. Yeah.
You can connect without getting in $50,000 worth of debt. It's a lot of places you can do that.
Just go meet up at the
please.
Meet up
you
at the
just gotta
campus.
have a plan, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a 4-year degree, because think of everyone that has these degrees and they're not even doing anything in their field.
To tell you, that's what I'm saying. Like, these people that's majoring in marketing and business, like, they might as well stop making that a major, because you can do that now. Like, you don't have to go make that a major anymore to be in that business. Marketing. I mean, come on. Kids marketing, come every day they marketing. You don't have to go get a degree. Yes.
This is the oh, go ahead. No, the main reason that I want him to get a degree is not for the regular reason, but like I said, I'm an 18-year certified appraiser. He's getting his appraisal license. No matter what he does, that's something to fall back on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to, unfortunately, now you have to have a degree to do it. That's the only reason.
Are you serious?
After the market crash, now you have to have a degree. That's the only reason
Wow.
I'm making him get his degree.
Wow.
Only reason.
We're back, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's T Marie Radio Show. I know everybody loves to listen to the back stories when we're not on air. If you're tuning in live, you can always hear what we're talking about. I love when you guys tune in and take part and put your opinions out there. So we greatly appreciate that. Before we left, we needed to talk about It's Major. We talked about where it was going to be. We talked about what's going on this weekend. Now we talk about all your social media things and how they can follow you and support you.
Okay, so we're on Instagram, It's Major Movie. Our website is It's Major Movie. We're also on Facebook, It's Major Movie. So ITS, no apostrophe, ITS Major Movie on all social media platforms.
And you can find me on Instagram, Kix Galore, KIXKZGALORE. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, KIXKZGALORE. And that's about it. That's all I'm on right at the moment.
We're going to go ahead and watch that YouTube.
I am. We're going to watch it.
We're going to let you know what we think.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to let my daughter watch it. We're going to see. I'm going to see.
Your daughter?
She's 19. She'll be 20 this year.
So we both going to see it in two different ways.
Yeah.
But smash or pass, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, so that's if you are hit it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that. Like it's for everything, but like I like design stuff like clothing and stuff. I don't have my stuff on me right now, but I design like clothing stuff. I like clothes, like fashion and stuff, shoes and stuff. So that's where the Kix part came from. But like I do like shoot, like if I get some shoes or something, I'll talk about it. And I go to like sneaker events, meet people, and I was recently in a Foot Locker commercial. And, yeah, so it was more than just
congratulations.
Well, that's what I saw when I went on there.
So what I want to know from you, it's Fast Lane Productions. That's your Fast Lane Pictures. That's your company. So you said you like to give people different opportunities.
Right.
So for those who are out there listening who may not know how to reach those different opportunities, how can they connect with you?
So the website is fastlanepictures.com. You can go on there. My email address is sinidriapotter@gmail.com. They can contact me directly. What I do, there's not a lot of female directors out there. So every production that I do, I always bring on a young female to shadow me as director, to see if it's something that they may be interested in. I always give that opportunity to a young female. And anyone that wants to come and intern or shadow, or because there's so many facets of production that you can get into, makeup and lighting and even food. Like, I mean, you make a pretty good living providing the catering and craft services on set. So there's just a lot of different jobs that people don't realize. Set design. If you're a person that's good with your hands and building stuff, there's set design, there's art direction. There's all kind of different positions in production. So I always like to open that up to people to see if it's something that they may like to get into, especially females, because there's just not a lot of us. When I'm directing or producing, most of my crew is always men. So that's a whole nother topic.
Right.
With trying to have a whole team that's made up of mostly males. But you can contact me, like I said, on my website, Fastlane Pictures, or directly at my email, sinidriapotter@gmail.com. I'm pretty open. I can't give them my whole education and over the phone. Sometimes people call and it's stuff like, now with the internet, you can find out anything you want. So sometimes people get on the phone and want you to tell them everything, and they don't want to do any of the work. I don't mind speaking with people, but there's a wealth of information out there if you just look for it, and I don't mind guiding them in the right direction. I don't mind helping people.
Each one teach one.
That's right. That's how you get yours, when you give it to somebody else. So
Exactly.
don't be so afraid to hold it.
Exactly. It's enough for everybody. So I am not afraid to share information. I don't feel like anybody's going to be my competition.
Right.
It's enough for everybody.
And when you don't feel like you're in competition, you stay in your own lane, you create your own opportunities.
And you're happier.
Yeah, you are. So
two
Q
more
and I are gonna
questions.
be on the show?
Yeah, I was about to say
That's-
two
yeah.
more questions
Mhm.
before we let you go.
Mhm.
So when are we gonna be in this next
Yeah, 'cause
project?
we're
Okay.
looking for the next
So the
project.
next the
Right.
next movie kicks off in June. We start production on that in June. I usually post. I make
Nope.
a database.
Nope.
I like.
We don't do
Wait a minute.
auditions.
But let me say this.
We don't
Wait,
audition.
wait. No. Listen what I'm saying. So good people are hard to find. When I find good people, I have a Rolodex. So when I'm casting, I have direct casting that I
Mhm.
hey, I got this part. And then I also post, on Actors
Mhm.
Access and things like that. But I try to maintain a database of really good people, and I like to give people repeat opportunities, But we start in June, and if there's, I put all the roles out or whatever, and sometimes I write specifically for people.
That's the part we talk
So
about.
look. So
That's-
we
that's
like
what-
to
that's
give
the part we
people
trying to talk
repeat
about.
opportunities too. So if you want to come back on this show,
Right.
we're gonna see you on the set in June.
Right. Exactly. I'm trying to see
Exactly.
where our roles at.
Right.
We ask, we just, want
You want
to see it. We want
you want a
something.
cameo
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you want a good little meaty
No,
part?
I mean, I
What you
want some words.
You want some word?
I mean, I take a sentence and a half.
Okay.
I need to be a character.
Is that all you need, ma'am?
I need to be a character.
So
that's all
that's
you
my
need?
line.
No,
That's
that's
my line
no.
right there.
That ain't gonna be it. I need to be a character. I need to be somebody who impacts somebody on the whole thing.
Sometimes you can impact the role with a couple words. You don't need a whole page.
And let me tell you
So
who
I
said
can-
that. Brumman said that he was only on a few
From the
episodes of
Fifth
Mark.
Flow.
Right, and
Right.
I don't
But
think, only
that
thing he
people
said-
remember him so much, and he said out of all those seasons that he was only on a few episodes.
Yeah.
So a few little
Brumman from the
lines.
Fifth Flow.
for the fifth floor.
From the Fifth Flow.
It's gonna have to be major so that I can, they can remember me. Yeah.
Everything we do is big, and everything we do is made.
Yes. You gonna say one more thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say one more thing before we go. Why should people go out and support and see It's Major?
It's a feel good family comedy. We don't have a lot of movies where you can sit down with your whole family and watch it. So I think that's the main reason we don't have a lot of that. Some stuff is, like, oh, the child can't see this, or the teenagers may not like it, but this one has a good balance of both. Something for the teens as well as something for people in our age range. And the soundtrack is amazing. We have music from Eric Nolan Grant from the OJs. We have music from the SOS band.
Wait,
We have Audra Bryant out of LA. We have music from the Glow Twins, music from QT Jazz, music from Young
Oh, we had her
Naya.
on the show before.
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. So you should come see it for the movie. I mean, for the music, for the exceptional talent that's in it. Support independent filmmaking.
Yes.
Support female director. Support a teen producer. I mean, just so many reasons.
well, we appreciate it. And well,
Shout out to Westlake.
I need you to have more energy than that. Y'all be so laid back. Y'all too
Shout out to Westlake
Okay.
High School.
There we go. Get
2400. Union Road.
You gotta
Not the address.
take us to the school.
Home of the line.
Okay, we have to attend the
You
school.
have
I'm
a-
right. Y'all give it up one more time for Sneaker and Jalen. Y'all go check out It's Major. All the different platforms you can go see it on before it's released on digital. Please go support this movie and support her and her son. We just got to continue to support our community as many ways as we can, and this is a major way for you to do it. Guys, keep it locked. I still have the question of the day I have not been able to ask yet. Let's ask Q, see what he thinks. Team Radio Show, you guys keep it locked.
All right.
I like this shirt. And what high school did you go to? Okay, that's the Union City. Okay, we just moved it. Well, we moved to Fairburn, but I swear it's Union City. The road it said "Welcome to Union City," but it says Fairburn. We just moved to Fairburn. All right, we've been there literally what? 2 weeks, 1 week. Hit it up and do the shop. That's where all the people get with the golf cart. Right?
I don't got no stand up.
Your back straight.
The girls hanging out over there.
They ain't gonna never not be.
All right. They got that. That was nice.
Oh, that's yours?
Appreciate y'all. Congratulations. We'll see y'all
Congratulations.
Saturday.
We're gonna check out the for real.
Did Bentley invite y'all to the premiere?
Yes.
Saturday? Okay, that's awesome. You'll be at work?
No, I'll be at work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I called you.
Yeah, I'll be at work there. I'm on the phone like.
Okay. She was like this. You're gonna have to call.
Right, because I'm like, I can't say nothing. My regional was there today. Usually,
Yeah, that was when I was first started. That's hard. It's hard to think of.
Oh, the pick and shoes without looking at them. You talking about the pick and shoes without looking at everyone? Oh, that challenge. I thought you about when they blindfolded. They blindfolded and he just felt the shoes and told him what kind of shoes they were. That meant he got too many shoes.
right.
And he got almost everyone right.
Oh wow.
Now, how many views you got on that one with the tennis shoes?
We ready? Right here.
In some of his videos, he got 30,000, 40,000 views.
That's what's up. Good.
Oh, crap.
Well, that's what they. I mean, that's what it is. No, you
Like,
crazy. I got a
Smash
down. I got a
the Pass,
19-year-old child.
rate me 1 to 10. And the last one was, what's the freakiest thing you ever done in school? And I was appalled at what them girls looked in that camera and wasn't ashamed to say. I was like, we just wouldn't have done that. They don't think nothing wrong with that.
And the coach teaches them that it's okay to be quote unquote.
What you do at Free?
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
Oh, Freaky coming back. Hey, he's coming back. We was going to bank there now. You was not. I was going to say you was not around now.
I'm about to join y'all show. Can I be on the guest on y'all show?
Sure. I just get like this.
You see him in the Foot Locker commercial? They pumping up the new Pumas. They bringing back out Pumas.
Oh, I like Pumas. We got Pumas all through our house now.
Me too.
Yeah, we love the Pumas.
Young bands. Bam.
Yeah, they bringing out some new Pumas.
Yeah, that's on you too.
Pumas are dope. I think we got more Pumas than Nike now.
Old Pumas. Back in the day, Pumas used to be Bobo.
That's great.
Where we from?
Not in my day.
Where we from, Pumas used to be Bobo.
Yeah, tell me so.
Oh, these are nice. They're different.
With the Pumas.
Eddie,
He think people be noticing him now.
get your show back.
I like these. I like those.
Eddie, get your show back, Eddie.
Right.
Thank y'all. They're not done.
Thank y'all so much.
Have a seat.
You know how to get out?
Exercise to the left.
Okay, thank y'all.
You're welcome.
All right, take. No, the music is on.
Oh shit. The day was long.
We ready?
Yeah.
We back.
What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. What time is it?
9:15.
9:15?
9:34.
That went really, really fast. We're back, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. That went quick.
That's what she said.
Well, listen, that's not a good thing. If that's what she said, that's a terrible thing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go follow the It's Major the movie, support it, and all the things it's going to be doing the theaters and then also in streaming. And also follow her son. I don't remember what the thing was, but somebody will tell me later. What you
The thing about what?
Who's trying to call me? People always, don't worry, I'm not going to answer.
Don't. But you can't ignore it either.
I can't ignore it.
We got to get that broadcast back.
Right. Right.
So definitely, we appreciate Jalen for coming in. We appreciate Sanidria for coming in.
Yeah,
you know, raising the young black man. I think this is one of the first times out of our this will be 5 years that we have interacted with like a millennial on this level.
I love it, and I think we should do it more. I think
Absolutely.
we should. I would love to have my child and some of their friends and your son and to have that conversation, because there's a lot of things that we don't understand or that we miss. And then if not us being a parent, there's a lot of people that don't understand our millennials, and we just need to have that conversation.
You know, I was supposed to have a child around Mackenzie's age. She would have been like turning, like 18, 19 this year. I mean, she alive. I just don't know if she's lying.
Maury.
32.
Right. I don't know. Welcome to the show, Michael McFadden, everybody.
Yo,
on the show today. Hey, Michael.
Hey,
Michael could not miss the show because we're about to talk two things. Well, he might not want to talk that.
I want to hear the question of the day.
So the question of the day is dating with children.
Oh, that's perfect.
I know, and that's why you're good for it, because you talked about this experience last week or a couple weeks ago
With mama.
Mama.
Oh, okay.
Because dating with kids is different, and it came from this meme that I saw. So this guy posted a meme, and the lady said, "So I come with kids and a bad baby daddy." And the guy said, "Well, I come with juice boxes and
these hands."
Right?
It was in these hands.
So what we're gonna do? And I say that to say it takes a different type of man to date a woman with children, and the woman has to be really particular when she's dating with children.
Now, before you go in there, like, what about the vice versa though? Like, if a man was a single father and a woman came into his life, I mean, why not? I mean, it's reality. That's what people deal with.
It is reality, but it's
men raise their kids too.
It's the same concept. What type of person you bringing in to meet your children? Basically, you have to be. But really, I understand when you talk about a woman. But for women, there's a lot more single. Can we say that? A lot more single women that are dating now, especially in this day and time, than there are men who have custody of their kids. And so we have a lot of these men that are dating these women, but they're dating them on a level that has a little selfishness, because what they got to understand and go with is that mamas got to have time for their kids too. And if you're going to be in this woman's life, you got to learn how to deal with her kids, because she cannot separate her kids from herself. It's not even an option. So even Michael, when you were dating, we talked about this. How did you manage that? And did that person have to be a particular person that you knew you were going to do life with before you even met the children?
Two parts of that question. I knew that if I was going to get in a committed relationship with Tasha, that I was going to have to be part of Nikki's life, regardless. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take that on, and we were very young. I was only 23 or 24 at the time, so I took on that responsibility. I think for some reason, like when we talk about on the show, like Tasha and I, it was the perfect storm for us, because I knew what I was getting into, but my selfishness, because like you said, she has a child, she's giving all her attention to the baby, and you're forgetting about me. What about me? What about me? Yeah. And now I got to share my food with this little creature that I don't even know. Like, why is she asking me for my food? Those are things that I had to adjust to, because if I wanted to be with Tasha, I had to accept Nikki as well.
Yep. It's too many people, too many men who are willing to come into these women's lives and ignore their kids, like really, and act like they don't exist. And there's too many women allowing that to happen.
Right.
You're watching these women literally choose these men over these children because they want to put a man in their life and in their household, not realizing the damage that it does. There's a lot of damage that happens because you just want to date somebody.
Right.
And you won't wait for that person that's gonna fit, not just you, because when you're dating with kids, it's no longer about you anymore. You don't even get to date that way.
It's about us. That's how the mindset has to change immediately, because as soon as that single mom allows you to meet the kids, now all of a sudden the game has changed. Because it was a while before Tasha allowed me to meet Nikki. You know what I'm saying? And then I knew once she opened that up,
what that was.
She opened up something else before though.
Oh.
See, now, you know what? Now, this is what I want to know. What is an appropriate time, like when you're dating somebody and you get to that intentional phase,
Right.
what is
Yay!
the right time to introduce the child to whoever it is you're dating?
I think is when you have really decided to be intentional, because I'm gonna tell you something. Your child needs to meet that man, and that man needs to meet your child. Like they really need to learn how to interact with each other. And you don't introduce them as your man.
You introduce them as
No,
Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charles, just as your friend. You know, just this is your friend, and y'all spend some time together without her having to see you guys in an intimate setting yet, because she needs to feel like this man is inviting her into his life as well, and not just adding her because now he finna be with my mama. You see what I'm saying? He needs to meet her as, hey, what's up? Let's hang out with your mom, not kissing on your mom or putting on your mom booty or holding her hand, but just us. I'm serious. Us hanging out so we can get a feel for each other first, and then we'll introduce the intimacy as you introduce the fact that we're gonna be together. There's a lot of steps that happen with that, but because we jump into relationships so fast, we want to jump into the kids being that daddy, stepdaddy or whatever fast too, and it doesn't work like it because now he gone, and now look.
Right.
So when getting to know or becoming a part of a parent's life who already has a child, what are some must-have, some requirements that these people need to come to the table with?
You can't be selfish. That's the main thing. It's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
When you're dating a person, I don't care if you're male or female. When you're dating someone else, you cannot be selfish, and at that point, it's no longer about you. It's about because ultimately, what's happening is y'all building a family together. And if you jealous, because there are times where you're going to be jealous of that child because that other person is going to be giving more attention to that child. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to bring the baby home something to eat, but not you. You know what I'm saying? And that hurts.
Most time we bring both.
No, I know. I was just trying to give an example on the flow, but yeah, you can't be selfish.
That's a big thing. You very inclusive, I think, because you have to make the child comfortable too. You have the person that's on the other end has to make the child comfortable. You have to realize that as the adult coming into this other person's child's life, this child has to be comfortable being around you, has to be comfortable talking to you. That may not happen the first 2, 3, 4 weeks or a month. That child's got, and so you got to use that patience to make that child comfortable. It's a child.
Right. Let's throw a monkey wrench in there though. What about when it gets to the point to where the child understands what's going on, and now you're a part of their life, but you and I ain't working out? What happens at that point?
Just like when Sammy came on last week,
right?
When him and the girl, they were together for the 3 years back and forth, and he became a stepfather to the child. And when he had to break up with the woman, he had to break up with the child too.
Right.
I can attest to that. I can attest to staying somewhere longer because I had got to know the child.
That's what I was about to say.
I can attest to that because you don't want to break up that chemistry that you've created. And so you continue to stay because of that chemistry and what it looks like for the child. And so you stay longer a lot of times than you should, or you stay.
But in a marriage though, when you think about when people get married, now all of a sudden the same thing happens because now we hit a roadblock and now there's confrontation. Do we run or do we figure it out? So I think sometimes with kids being involved in the relationships before the marriage, that becomes a point to where, okay, do we work this thing out because we really want to be together and there's somebody else involved? Because now it's not just about us, it's about me, you, and the baby. Do we work it out? Or because we're not married, is that opportunity for us to say, you know what, this ain't gonna work out and I'm gone?
It's harder. I must say, it's harder. It's not easier just because you're not married. You would, it's easier to bow out, without, any ties legally, but it's not any easier because you've created a bond with that child. The child is still somebody that's been in your life, whether you was married to the person or not. And so when you create a bond, whether that's through, something legal or not, there's still something hard to tear away. And so we a lot of times we and I say it often, we need to do a lot of work before we start introducing ourselves into those situations. But even if you do the work and it doesn't work out, you need to be okay. Now, it's different for me in a marriage, but in dating, you need to be okay with separating if you have to. To me, in a marriage, it's a marriage. Marriage is one of those things you have to, I feel, work at. Because
why don't we do that in relationships?
I don't. You know
why does the paper force us to work harder because legally we're together versus something that we want to work on, but because we're not legally bound to it, we're not forced to work on it.
Okay.
You know what? A wise man once said this in a song, and I think his name is Johnny Taylor. And the answer is, it's cheaper to keep her.
You're right.
And you're funny. That's hilarious. Right? I don't think it's the marriage, more so the level of commitment, maybe. Because there's a level of commitment to in a marriage, I think, to me, there's a different level of commitment to me.
But what makes that commitment, though, T. Marie? Honestly, let's be honest. What makes the commitment? Is it the ring? No, it's not the ring.
It's not the ring.
Is it? What is it then? Is it
put
because
back on your ring just in case Tasha watches?
No, she made me get the tattoo.
Oh, no, that's right. Just in case you took it off. Right. I don't think in a relationship where you have not, because there's a different level of commitment in a relationship, and I don't care what nobody says, than it is in a marriage. You commit differently in your marriage than you do in a relationship. Let's just be clear. There's a lot more sacrifice you're willing to do. There's a lot more things you're willing to give up. There's a lot more things you decided to give up because you did get married. You don't have the same level of commitment when you were dating or maybe even getting engaged than you did when you were married. And so I think that level of commitment should be where you just make your decision. I'm not going to stay in a situation unmarried, right? That I would stay in if I was married. Now I don't care what, if you beat my butt, it don't matter. In that,
no,
that's totally different. But to me, I committed. Okay, there was a different level of commitment. I committed to staying in that marriage. I took the vows. Did you not take vows? Because if not, what's the point of getting married? Did you not take vows to work through it for better, for worse, rich or poor, whatever?
But it wasn't because of the vows. The vows had nothing to do with it.
It wasn't because of the vows, but you took the vows because of the commitment, the level of commitment you had to that person.
I took the vows because that's what we were taught.
So that's
what society taught us.
Okay, so let's go back. So if you did not, in a different time, right now, you would not marry Tasha. You would not take that level of commitment.
I don't think, and great question, I wouldn't need the love that I have for LaTasha Dushan McFadden. I don't need a preacher to tell me.
It ain't about a preacher.
I don't need a preacher to tell me, hey, you're gonna do this in front of God and all these people. You're gonna love her for better or worse, rich or poor, blah blah blah. You're gonna sign this document. I don't need anybody to tell me that because I'm committed to LaTasha.
So why? Okay, so I asked the question again. Would you get married? That's the point blank. Because marriage is something. Something that
y'all just gonna be living together.
No. To answer your question, yes. Because to get married, that's from a business perspective. Because now we have to get married because my insurance at my job won't allow me to put her on my insurance. My tax bracket is different because if I'm not married and I'm single, I'm in a different tax bracket. When I die, my estate gets complicated because I don't have anybody to give it to.
And guess
what? So that paper makes that all legal.
And guess what? You wouldn't give that to just anybody.
No, I wouldn't.
Absolutely. So the fact that you would commit on that level, those things to her, right? So she can have, that's a different level of commitment.
But what I said though, T. Marie, was I don't need to do it in front of a pastor.
I didn't say, did I ever say a pastor?
No, I'm just saying I don't need
the institution of marriage. I never said a pastor.
I don't have to say vows to her to say I
never
commit,
said that.
blah, blah, blah. I don't have to do that.
I never said that. I said the commitment of marriage,
You're right.
Institution of marriage. I never said in front of a pastor, 16 people, 16,000 people. I said the institution of marriage. would you not give that to her? Whatever that is, you gave it to her because it's a sense of security that you would not give to just anybody.
She
And
was
that's
the
what
one.
exactly. And
She
that's
was
what
the
I'm
one.
talking about. I ain't
But I didn't
talking
need a
about-
paper to do it.
But
though.
you needed to give her that commitment because you knew what that came with, right? And you would not give that to just anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
play with me.
T. Marie Radio.
Don't play with me.
Power 108.9. Every Wednesday night, 8 to 10. Check out the website.
That.
Yeah, she about to flip. I'm gonna let you have that one, T.
No, 'cause
Marie.
I don't want y'all to memorize.
But I'm gonna
what
get
that
your
is.
ass tomorrow morning on Mornings with Mike and the
I don't
Friends at 7 a.m. Believe
I'm
that.
gonna watch. I'm gonna watch because I don't care what you said. That level of commitment, regardless of what you feel it is a different level than just living with anybody. So whether it be giving her those benefits or making sure that marriage life or that insurance goes, or whatever that commitment is, you don't give that to just anybody.
No, you're right. And I
Right.
said that.
And-
I thought we established that.
Right. So that's why I said the institution of marriage. I didn't say nothing about a preacher, a teacher, a college. No, I didn't say anything about that. I said that institution of marriage.
I love this show.
I do too.
You know y'all my favorite show.
I love it.
Well,
I
we
love
ain't
it.
in the favorite show spot.
That's because our payment plan.
You see, we moved down.
I be
Next week we'll be back up there.
when our check went through and when it did.
You are ass. You are an ass.
I don't know how much time we got. I don't even know if the show is over.
You got 9 minutes.
Okay,
You
we're
good.
gonna take 2 seconds to come back, and then we'll talk about Freaknik coming back. I don't know what y'all think.
Sade.
It's the Free
Don't
Radio
stop
Show.
about that, 'cause they let
Right
me
here on
say you
Power
do the
108.9.
brown. We gotta get that other headphone this week. I'm gonna get the other headphone this weekend. Yeah, and I need to get that splitter too. Either the splitter or we need to get the that other box. Yeah, I need to get both of those. No, I need it this weekend. I don't think I could wait for it to come.
When the new people come out, the young people.
Is it cheaper? They start Saturday. The Ville?
Yeah.
Yeah, they start Saturday. Saturday at 11. Yeah, it's like our little teen summit show. Yeah, they all, but they're at Georgia. They're at Georgia Southern. I'm at Georgia State. Dude, they're in high school. I mean, they're in college. So 18, 19, 20, 21. But I don't know if you remember Teen Summit on BET back in the day.
What was that chick? Ananda Lewis?
Ananda, yeah.
Ananda.
She just celebrated her birthday too. But that was a great conversation though, T. Marie. Pretty glad I wasn't drinking.
I just don't want people to think when I be saying marriage, because there's a lot that comes with that. Whether you say, you know, you don't need that paper, there's a lot of that. Whether it's legal, again, even a legal document, you're not just gonna get anybody. A legal, there's just things you're not gonna give to a person that you don't love.
But
in
what
that
I was
capacity.
saying though, what I was saying though, I didn't need all that to commit to who I'm married to.
Understand
I didn't need.
that.
I don't need that.
I'm not talking about your level. I'm not talking about your level of commitment.
It would still be there, right? Right. I'm not going nowhere. That's what I think. That's what because the paper, the
I'm
paper.
not saying the paper.
No, I'm just saying that the legality of it doesn't stop us from being who we want to be anyway. It's the love that.
I'm talking great, perfect, awesome. I'm talking about, again, that institution of giving that person, because it's not just about your commitment. You gotta, people act like it's just about that commitment and the love that
We'll talk about this next week.
Yeah.
You can let it go.
Because he brought up the business side of it. But my point is, again, you still would not give that to just
Look me in
anybody.
my eye. Look me in my eye and say that. Yeah, you don't want to look at me and say that.
What are you talking about?
One is my heart. I'm not giving my heart to anybody. That's the biggest thing, T. Marie. When I decide that
That's what makes marriage stay together, because of the commitment level. Because if you don't have that from the beginning, then no matter what.
I ain't messing with you today.
Okay.
I ain't messing with you today. I'm gonna let you have that moonshine, that watermelon
That
moonshine.
moonshine gone.
We got our inspiration.
That moonshine gone.
Tupac of my generation.
I hope you got a new one on love. I got.
Red rose in the great pavement. Young black nigga trapped and he can't change it. WGs, he just can't claim it. 'Cause they like no platforms to
Oh, we're back. Hey, we're back. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love this show. We love being here at Power 108.9. We appreciate you guys staying tuned in from 8 to 10 every Wednesday.
Hey, T. Marie.
Yes.
You know I've never been on anybody else's show.
No?
Nope.
You like us a little bit.
Have I? I've never been on whose show I've been on as a guest. Well, I'm not a guest. I just
We gotta get
jacked
a flyer
You just-
next time.
Right. We're gonna put him on the flyer.
We just gonna make a flyer so whenever you decide to
Right.
pop in, just go ahead and post it real quick.
Michael's on this week. Okay.
But I'm gonna let y'all have y'all show back. However, Beyonce had the best video of all time. Nah,
Really,
I'm-
Kanye?
yeah, I know. I had to do that. But now I want to say before I know y'all get ready to get out of here, but y'all have one of the most powerful shows. And I want to say that straight up because y'all have some great guests. Y'all even have me in groupie mode when y'all have y'all shows. You know what I'm saying? No, straight up, because y'all bring some powerful guests to the show. So thank you for being part of the Power 108.9 family.
We appreciate you.
And y'all
having
keep
us.
up the good work. And don't forget to check the braid schedule.
Oh my
when y'all come.
God. Jesus is ridiculous. That make no sense. Freak Nick coming back, y'all. Who's coming? You ready for Freak Nick?
If it's gonna be like 94,
it's not.
It's not. It's family friendly.
Yeah, Mayor Keisha Bottom said it's gonna be a family friendly. I can't even say it. Situation. So I mean, come on now. We never really want to go back to Freaky 94 now, do we?
Yeah, man. What?
Do we
Yeah.
really?
From the images that you see.
Oh yeah, I was there. But do we really want to go back?
Them cameras, you remember these cameras?
Right, a bit.
It's a lot of 24-year-old babies that was
Oh
made.
my God, Freak Nick.
So
was
what's
a
the
mess.
difference?
Nah, Freak Nick was a mess though, for real, straight up.
but
If you look at the logistics of Freak Nick, it was horrible.
It was off the chain. And I'm telling you, me being a country girl, I saw some stuff that I was just like, what the are y'all doing? Literally,
Paint the picture for
because I
you.
came from a place of a whole lot of morals. Okay, let's just start there. And so when
Paint
you
the
come to
picture.
Atlanta, you see these girls. You think they twerking now? They doing that. Plus, they ain't got no drawers on. These dudes are touching on their in their skirts.
On their what?
Vaginas. In their, I can't even hardly say it. In their skirts, like these women are naked. It's like a whole nother
Talk
level.
about, but just talk about the traffic situation and talk about that because I think that's probably one of the biggest downfalls.
How about shutting down Memorial Drive and Peachtree Street to where you could not do anything but walk, park your car right there and walk up and down the street because traffic was not going anywhere.
Between I-20 and 285 at Hamilton E. Homes, aka High Tower, all the way to I-75, the 75-85 connector, I-20 shut down completely. Like you're done. Like all you can do is get out your car and just party.
And walk.
That's it. On
Cameron Road
I-20.
used to be not South DeKalb Mall, ignorant. But you had so much fun.
And the thing about it, the thing what the city got mad about back in the 90s and the early 90s when Freaknik popped off is that you had all these young folks here. 94, 250,000 people came to the A.
For real.
But here's the deal. Nobody was spending money.
Because everybody was staying at their cousin house.
Exactly. They would go to
They brought
Lennox.
their own food.
They would go to Lennox
And
and
just
just
walk
walk
around.
around. You know what I'm saying? You hang out on Peachtree and just walk
Yeah.
around. You go to Steak and Nail on International Boulevard and get one steak and everybody drinking water with a whole bunch of lemons.
I didn't do
Because they
that.
spent all their
$2
money
steak.
calling off work and putting
Well,
gas in their Geo
you know what,
trackers
a lot-
to get
right,
down here.
Baby, say
They
word.
Suzuki sidekick.
Right.
Suzuki sidekick. Yeah, that great job,
For
Joe.
real. Well, Mayor Keisha Bottoms is in support of it and bringing it back family friendly. And of course, Luke is having a full concert at
Nice.
The Amphitheater, Lakewood Amphitheater. Yeah, they're
Okay.
gonna include the Brats. Who was it? Mace. Somebody else. It's a whole
Reverend
group.
Mace.
Yeah, a whole group of and the bass people. All them.
Oh, the
people that
Miami
yeah,
bass
all
people.
the people that used to
69 boys
yeah,
and all
of them.
that.
So it's a full-fledged concert. So
You gonna be there?
no, I won't. Yeah,
Come
I
on, T.
will.
Marie.
Yeah, I probably
Let go.
will. I think that'll be fun.
Put
I
on-
really think that'll be fun.
Put on some of your cross colors
The-
from back in the
I
day.
won't do it. Daisy Dukes won't be able to do that. And tennis skirt. That was my
with your
attire.
K-Swiss.
Yes, indeed. Fresh and white.
Some Sebagos.
Oh, I
I don't know what that is.
Oh, damn. My bad.
Sebago.
All right, Q. Let's go on with this Quinspiration.
All right. So today's Quinspirational moment is brought to you courtesy of the one, the only, the legendary Nina Simone. You've got to learn to leave the table when there's no longer love being served. I came up with that. I was feeling it earlier. It don't matter. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. See you next week, I guess. Is follow us. Q, where can they follow us? All right.
Make sure you guys are following us on It's T Marie Radio Show. That is Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you guys are following me at Quintessential One, Quintessential Gentleman, Quintessential Branding, and Quinspiration. Make sure you guys are following T Marie at T Marie, the number 4, the letter U on Instagram, Katrina T Marie Curtis on Facebook. Make sure you guys are also following Power 108.9 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah.
That's it.
That's
And
it.
don't forget no more boyfriends. I know y'all think I forgot. This week was hard, so we'll bring it back next week. But no more boyfriends. Your book could be here at the end of the month. Thank you, Jesus.
We had Audrey up here the other day.
I know. I saw that. I knew she was here. She was here for some other stuff. But so congratulations, everybody. Michael, thank you so much. Power 8.9. We appreciate you keeping us here. We'll see you again next
Y'all ain't
week,
going
8
nowhere.
to 10. We'll do it again.
You ain't going nowhere.
That's got the check cleared, y'all. See you next week.
It's April.
We ain't talking about that invoice yet. Oh, we need to.
No, you said a Suzuki Sidekick. Yeah. Paper towels and cleaner. Turn that YouTube off. And can you look in that front pocket there and give me my battery? I mean, give me